Welcome back to another motherfucking video. Today we're going to be reacting to some FaZe Banks and the Core Boys. You know we keep our ear to the streets with everything going on. Another day with the best community in the community. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let's just get right into it because this shit's about to get good. And it's going to be unmuted this time. Everybody say hey to YouTube. YouTube, you're so cute.
The FaZe accounts and they're bleeding, they're hemorrhaging, like we're dying. And before
I'm still gonna have to say what I said
millions of
before.
dollars in the hole, but everyone's telling you how great it all is. But it's not sustainable and it can't work. And that's 100% my fault.
Like I said, it is 100% his fault because say he offers them, like he offers them the everything is going to be by word of mouth first. He offers them the opportunity to join FaZe as a new group. Add it to their name. It's beneficial for everyone. Hey, y'all just go crazy as a group. Get y'all a house together. Create content like blueprint from this type of group. Do this for y'all. Y'all go crazy and just pay this or whatever for this a month. And then so they do this, they go crazy, and it goes crazier than you projected as well. I know like shit like that be happening too. And then you approach them with a contract like 2 months later asking for like 15, 20, a high percentage of their earnings that you didn't even really contribute to anymore. They contributed to revamping the brand. So it's kind of like they did more than you're doing for them, and you're just going to take a percentage after they already established something together as a group. What the fuck would they do that for? Like it was bad business on his part. So it's unmuted, right? What if it's not? It is.
The truth is, I think that everybody lost. I think that I lost. I think that the boys lost. I think that FaZe, of course, lost.
Nigga, I didn't lose shit. I'm good. You lost, nigga. I ain't lose shit, FaZe Banks.
And I think the biggest loser in all of this is you guys.
Hell no. Who the fuck a loser? You a loser, nigga.
Deadass will never have another partner segment in our lives.
This picture is a recreated FaZe picture, and I constructed this picture on.
Again, this is a picture. This is an NWA album cover, by the way. I don't know if he think he invented NWA, but brother, insufferable.
Set. Like I told them all, like crowd in and make this picture, and we took a picture. This was my direction, my vision.
W creative director.
Brother, this old man still doesn't get it. Literally just yesterday at the end of April.
What they say? How many times we got to teach you this lesson, old man?
FaZe Banks decided that it was time for him to return to the internet and make a statement as to what happened to FaZe and his new venture. He went to a constructed set, a very corporate look, one in which I think the lighting was actually very beneficial, and announced that he is basically becoming the Andrew Tate of the space and saying that he is going to turn into this financial guru, one that is supposed to help young men in their new endeavors. But what I do find interesting is that the
I'm not taking financial advice from FaZe Banks. Hell no. Oh fuck no. If you watching FaZe Banks live stream and taking financial advice from FaZe Banks, you deserve whatever happens to you.
Boys, now going by the name of Core, decided to do the most rock and roll thing ever and stomp on FaZe Banks' new emergence to the scene with the introduction of their own channel, their own group
at the same time,
their new content house. Banks was watching as the new generation recreated FaZe without needing FaZe anymore. He can say that that image that they had is a reconstruction of an image that he had once made, but that's the problem right there. The image lives on because it didn't need the corporate entity behind it. The chemistry survived, the audience survived. It's the company and the corporate interests that ultimately ruined the group that are no longer there. And that's exactly what the space needed. Banks had built the room, but Core had walked out with the culture needed to carry on in the streaming space. If you're new to this and haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It's going to go a long way for the channel.
It was bad business timing.
Overlords overtake us, and your subscription means a special day for me. It is rest the FaZe, well, ex-FaZe guys now at this point, about the inner workings of their business. Ultimately, I would be vindicated. I know, I'm tooting my own horn. It's going to come full circle here in a second. And now, after just a short amount of time, we are seeing the power of friendship really prevail. You see, the problem was that FaZe was never supposed to be a normal company. It was supposed to be something that was the opposite of that. It was like punk rock, it was rock and roll, it was hip hop, but for the industry that is now the internet / social media.
It wasn't none of that. It was a friend group though. He talking about it was hip hop. It was nigga. It was a friend group though with chemistry, and that's exactly what you need for these on-camera improv settings. You put yourself in scenarios with people with chemistry, and you improv with other people who are good at improv, and you create. And that's what they're good at doing. But when you add up when you start adding percentages in there and Like, you know, what is it called? Like like when you have to, when brands are clearly putting their shit on in the cameras, like in the camera eye and shit. Like, bro.
Content creation.
Shit
These
gets
were friends,
annoying.
these were gaming, this was streams, this was content, this was culture live.
For what it's worth, for what I believe, I think that FaZe should always be a group of friends who are performing internet culture live. That's what it's always been. That's what it always should be. And that's clearly what people care about.
I ain't gonna lie, that's not, I know I'm pausing a lot, but that's not always what it's been though. It's really been like, even the phase that is still going on is esports, the trick shotting, and not trick shotting, but like it's esports, but like trick shotting is what like FaZe was known for. So I'm not gonna say it was like, yeah, y'all were a clan together, but it's not like they were fucking known for friendship chemistry and niggas. No, they were known for being the best trick shotters on YouTube and being the best, having the best montages, and that's literally what it was. That's what FaZe was. That's what everybody knows FaZe as. It's not a fucking friend group. AMP is a friend group. RDC, we know them as a friend group, but they create content as well. Nobody knew FaZe as a friend group. Like, there's friend groups that we know, but it ain't been FaZe.
Banks, or whatever he's calling himself nowadays, would know that better than anyone. FaZe became legendary because it was impossible to manufacture. It was not professional in the traditional sense. It was supposed to be authentic. It was supposed to be real. It was never the appeal that there was some sort of corporate entity pulling the puppet strings behind it. That was never the case. But the problem was that once FaZe, from the gaming days, reached some sort of success, it started to chase the industry validation and decided to go into the more corporate and more professional space. And this is where it all went left. FaZe didn't become legendary because it looked like some company that we're used to. It actually became legendary because it was the total opposite. But the bigger that FaZe got, the more it started acting and operating like a—
That's facts. They're on pizza. They got pizza rolls. It's FaZe logos on a couple of brands that niggas know now. I ain't gonna lie, they was getting high profile sponsors and
traditional company. And at that point, the machine started to disrupt as opposed to build and help it navigate. You had more money, more structure, more oversight, and more pressure to monetize. And at that point, all of the base and foundation that it built on, this is where stuff started to get compromised.
And I tried to extend that experience to these guys and have these conversations about building business, but they're kids and they want to fucking stream. And that's not a problem. That's not an issue. That's what you guys want. That's what they want. But it's not necessarily what the company needed or what we wanted. Right?
That's the money maker. I ain't gonna lie. The less they have to focus, I know it seems crazy, but when you understand, you understand. Even Agent has said something like this before. Like, why wouldn't he pay a cleaner? Because the less time he has to focus on doing that, the more he can focus on creative ideas or just intaking content that's going to influence him to give him more ideas, and that's going to make him more money and overall make everybody more money so that he could even afford to pay somebody to help clean. So it's like, you do want them to just focus on streaming and not the percentages and not have to be controlled by somebody who's not a fucking streamer. That doesn't make sense. That's why shit be failing.
Yeah, messy.
And see, this is where the problem arises. FaZe became industry. The creators wanted to create, but the company needed some sort of monetization. The only way that they were going to continue any sort of backing when it came to these guys is if they saw some sort of return. And I guess that would be fine if it was explicitly spoken about, but that's where the shystiness of Banks himself came into play.
What I
said. Set up this business on the foundation of friendship, vibes, chaos, and live culture, and now they are trying to extract that feeling while not being 100% upfront with everybody that's involved.
Sorry, last pause. I even remember when Lacey and Silky was live and they got a text from the FaZe company, whoever is the corporate entity running them or whatever, charging them for the house damages that they moved out of, like $1 million for damages. And Lacey was reading it out on stream, and Silky, I remember Silky pulled out his phone. I knew it was kind of real because like the way Silky wasn't saying anything. Like,
tomorrow, everybody will leave FaZe, right? Is FaZe bigger because of the guys and what they did? It's absolutely not. Like FaZe didn't really grow or go anywhere from them doing all shit on FaZe. It didn't bring the brand anywhere.
The conundrum is like a chicken and egg type of situation. Does the brand need the creators? Does the creators need the brand? Do I think that the creators made FaZe financially successful? No, I can only take the word from Banks and the CEO of it all. They had to spend a lot of bread, and I do mean a lot of bread, to make these guys look more popular pop and look more successful, etc., etc. But from a cultural perspective, we can't not acknowledge how impactful and important these individual creators were into taking FaZe into a new stratosphere. And obviously, there didn't seem to be a way for the company to value the cultural impact and the cultural value of the collective creators. And then obviously, the creators themselves didn't have any idea or notion or care about the company being profitable or monetizing.
Nah, facts. That's fucked up too, though.
And I don't think
not
that
really,
matters
but
because they're creators.
I mean, yeah, because they invested in them too, but they don't know them niggas. So that's why it's like a bad chemistry type of thing, but bad business all around. You got to approach with the contracts first day, first thing, first notice. When you pitch the idea,
somebody who's sitting there and trying to make that thing go, trying to force in the creators, force in the machine, all these different things like that, something's got to give and something's got to break. And there's one person alone who was forcing these two things together. It's this guy who was at the forefront of having this terrible conversation where he basically misled groups of people, fell for these different narratives online, and tried to keep everything afloat. Banks knew how to keep FaZe alive culturally. Hey, I uplift these young guys, put them in a place and space to succeed, but ultimately he didn't know how to build that structure with the corporate entity, and ultimately it became unsustainable and it failed.
And that's 100% my fault. That was my job to figure that out, and I cared more about fucking Twitter and more about the content and more about the brand stuff. But now it's in a fucking worse spot in a lot of ways than it's ever been. So it's like, fuck, man. Like it's crazy ironic and it's insane. But there were two halves to this brand and this company.
Still your fault.
One was very much in front of the camera. We have a whole other side in the back. That's where over the last few months, like I have to just fully take accountability and just accept the fact that that's where I went wrong in this. That's where I fucked up. Wish I could say, fuck, I didn't know, dude, like mistake, whatever, but I did know.
Now, let's not get it twisted. Banks is a smart guy. He's claiming that he was ignorant about the business side and why the creators weren't aligned and all these different things. But for what it's worth, from what we also know about him, he was trying to have his cake and eat it too. I think it's as simple as that. He was good at making FaZe feel relevant again, but attention is not the same as alignment. And narrative is not the same as structure. And more importantly, culture is not the same as ownership. So then when you have the creators and the company not aligned, the brand eventually becomes something that, creators have to escape from. This is almost like a situation that they play out on Disney Channel or any kids show tropes where they have two divorced parents. Hey, you go tell mom that I need her here. I'll go tell dad that I need him here. And then ultimately they should end up at dinner together and maybe they'll reconcile their differences. But this isn't TV, gang.
Bro, what is he talking about, bro? That was a yap. That was an L reference.
I think that Banks truly showed, to me at least, how he became the new Andrew Tate of the streaming industry. There's been accusations of Tate doing his OF services where he manages these young ladies and acts as some sort of middleman, etc., etc. I don't want to go into any details about that. Not
nigga, you just did.
Banks starts moving like this. Less of a creator, more like a figure, a businessman, a quote-unquote mentor, and the accountability guy. He's the guy that's saying that he understands it all. He has everything under control, and he's playing this middleman position, but it all ultimately came collapsing down. And while he's trying to do his own personal rebrand on top of the rubble of that messy collapse, there's still something that was beating and breathing underneath that rubble. And it was the authenticity, it was the friendship, it was the relationships, and it was the content that the FaZe boys, or ex-FaZe boys, were able to produce. In the middle of FaZe Banks' big reveal and coming to Jesus moment about what he did wrong, holding himself accountable, hey, woe is me, there was a tweet that dropped from Feared Buck. There was a core house tour. Nobody knew what it was. It just
that shit was crazy timing.
What was surprising was when everybody clicked on the video, it was familiar faces. It was the ex-FaZe guys displaying that, hey, we have started something new, fresh, and invigorating.
Create, own, run, everything.
Chemistry, that natural content, that friendship, that authenticity, and an audience that has grown to trust these individuals to produce some of the best content possible.
Welcome to the new house! Yay!
Welcome to our house.
Woo!
Let's do it!
New house, new crib. You gotta pop it up.
Welcome to our house, chat. With my car up there too.
And tennis court.
Like, I'm actually about to get my jumper back.
What do you mean?
Sure, buddy.
Like, I had a jumper before.
Never had a jumper.
Hold on, Dad.
And I want to say I'm genuinely proud of these guys for putting their money where their mouth is and doing this thing on their own. I'm not even saying that it's 100% coming out of their own immediate pockets. I can't say that.
Shit, they said
what
it
I
is.
can say is they are leading with their friendship and authenticity. I didn't see any labels or names or sponsors. First, I saw authentic content creators coming together.
I feel like it was not even no furniture in there yet or nothing. It was just them, just the guys so far. Nothing yet. No sponsor. No ad in the middle of the video, nothing yet.
The saddest part about it is, though, back on the FaZe Banks side, he still doesn't get it.
This picture is a recreated FaZe picture, and I constructed this picture on set. Like, I told them all, like, crowd in and make this picture, and we took a picture. This was my direction, my vision. These guys look happy, man, to be honest with you. Like, it was a fucking good run, and again, I'm seeing this in real time.
It look like they finna leave. You can see it in their eyes.
How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Oh shit, I said that.
You can manufacture a house branding, a logo, a rollout, but you can't manufacture the chemistry. You can manufacture some company. Hell, anybody can go to LLC.com and create a new LLC. But the reason why Core will be successful is the same reason why these ex-FaZe members were successful when they were ex-FaZe members. Hell, it's the reason why they were successful before FaZe. There's a level of authenticity and realness to the content that they're making that, I'm sorry, you can't just pull puppet strings from behind a closed door and make. Now, I'm not a psychoanalyzer, but it did sound interesting how Banks kind of brushed through this really fast and threw a little bit of shade on the picture that was recreated as the YouTube profile picture for these guys. But I want you to know, Banks, that's not your competition anymore. Core is dangerous to FaZe for other reasons. It's because it doesn't look like a replacement.
Dangerous.
It feels like that old spirit of what you captured originally escaping from that rubble, from those ashes of the building that you burnt down.
It feel new.
For what it's worth, for what I believe, I think that FaZe should always be a group of friends who are performing internet culture live. That's what it's always been. That's what it always should be. And that's clearly what people care about.
When the fallout happened a couple months ago, the question was supposed to be, can the guys survive without FaZe? But after this Core announcement, the question quickly became, can FaZe still feel alive without them? I think that that's where the real damage lies with what FaZe Banks did to his company. Now, during his new market show, Banks did...
Because who the fuck is he going to sign to FaZe? Because I don't know if y'all even see any of the, like, dialogue that goes on, but it's like the only niggas that signed to FaZe is the fucking Jack Dohertys and Deshae. You might get Deshae. Deshae might sign to FaZe, and DDG maybe. Michael pull DDG for 1 year. Yeah, you know, my DDG, Deshae, the Capaholics, FaZe Capaholics. You might get them for sure.
At the fact that there may be a return to FaZe, not in the sense of like an esports way, but in the sense of a content creator group way.
So everybody's clear, like, I would like there to be a new FaZe member. That's my plans and what I hope to do with FaZe. While everyone's telling me I'm a and telling me that I can't do it and telling me that it won't.
What was that?
And what I hope to do with FaZe, while everyone's telling me I'm a and telling me that I can't do it and telling me that it won't work and that FaZe is dead and that it's over and to hang it up, I wouldn't bet against me, bro. First person to let you guys know I am gonna do it again and we are gonna be successful.
But until Banks can realize that it's not about the brand, it's not about the company, it's not about this machine or whatever the case may be, it's more so about the individuals that make up the content creation group, then I don't think that any future endeavors that he will prop up in the next couple years or whatever time span will be successful. Sure, they'll get views. Sure, they'll see accolades and stuff like that because that's what companies can afford you. That's what money can buy you. But at the end of the day, if you don't do the right things to channel that soul of a company, it's going to leave and it's going to make another group like Core did. You see, FaZe didn't lose because the creators left. FaZe lost because the creators proved that they were the company all along. They were the X factor all along. They were bigger than the
That's what I'm saying. For what XQC even said that they didn't change it, bro. They brought FaZe a whole new light, a whole new generation, bro. The fucking Ron was averaging 20K before, Jason was averaging 10K before, or you feel me, whatever they was averaging before. Silky was averaging 2-3K before, like but they all have like 500K followers on Twitch already, 750K followers on Twitch already, bro. They brought you a lot in, like they brought you a whole new community, and Twitch is the biggest platform for ads, and not ads right now because of the bot and shit recently, but the biggest, you know.
Same time. And I don't know if this solo is going to
W2
be
fucking hour. Thank you everybody who's been here every second of the minute.
Is now some new look guy claiming to be an outright business guy, finance guy, attention economy type guy.
He's a net spin guy.
Listen to me, you're get left behind guys. Similar to one bald guy with glasses that calls himself the top G. Banks goes all in on the financial aspects of this new journey of his life. And to be quite honest with you, this has got to be the worst rebrand that I've ever seen in my life.
A show about investing in yourself, where we feel an overwhelming majority of young men today are in a losing position. I'm here with my co-host right now, Z. We're streaming from his Twitter as well, and he's gonna make sure that we make a fuck ton of money.
I just think that his first stream back, he should have came and kind of just tried to speak on like new beginnings and stuff. And he was great, but
I don't know why that shit just seemed funny from Aiden. Oh shit, if Aiden think he wrong, nigga, oh my god.
I think that like the way it was launched, people now have this misconception that like because of the last shit that happened that made them fall out. That's the problem. I think it could have waited.
And this is why I say Banks just still doesn't get it. Instead of taking this time to stream and take accountability for all your actions or inactions when it comes to the downfall of FaZe, he decided to use that as bait or as promo to his new show. And as a content creator, I 100% understand clickbait, rage bait, any type of bait to get audiences to watch your stuff. If you have big drama in order to get people to your platform and stuff like that, go ahead and bait it. Why I do think it's nasty and why I do think it's weird.
He did a trailer.
These are some of the issues and claims that people had about you. You talked about how you destroy FaZe and it was because there was the soul and the energy and FaZe should have been about friends and not business and all these other things. And then you turn around and sell us a business opportunity.
That's what I'm saying. No, not almost. No, literally in the same stream. And like he did a fucking trailer for this. You see, like it just shows you have the same tactics, bro. Baiting with the fucking trailer. You know, like little strings that you like to pull that you think is gonna work and get engagement off communities that you study and that his mind. He doesn't have like. He just doesn't have he's not fully there. He's got somewhat of a mind though, but he's not fully there and fully understands or in touch. You know, he's out of touch for real, but it just shows the signs immediately, bro. I'm not buying shit from FaZe Banks, and anybody that's gonna sit there and watch that, and that's probably not gonna change their life, twin. I'd rather get financial advice from Rod. I've been with Clover 30 days. I think I've been with Reggie 30 days. I think I'm Clover now.
Right after you are holding yourself quote unquote accountable. It also makes it worse because I'm old enough to remember when FaZe Banks scammed a bunch of people out of crypto using Aiden Ross's streams. And so now when you take on this full-on Tate approach without going full top G, I might add, it just comes off as extremely disingenuous. So when you come to the internet with this like super duper nihilistic approach about the world, oh, it's woe is me, everything is cooked, I hate it here.
And everything's fucking cooked. Politics is cooked. Crypto's dead. Fucking dating's fried. You need three things: money, dirt, attention, and the third thing is AI literacy. ChatGPT does your job better than you. You are fucked, my brother.
You make me want to
AI
cut
literacy,
you
bro.
off. Not because that you're not
Twin.
right. You may be right. Politics is crazy. The economy is crazy. All these things are crazy. But do you think I'm taking advice from somebody like you? This time it feels calculated. It feels like you're once again using these young men and the opportunities that they've afforded the brand and the company FaZe and you to elevate and platform yourself and monetize yourself.
And he is trying to make money from it. I feel like this is his best bet at making money to pay the company back that he owes or whatever debt he's in, because he's for sure in debt. He has to pay some shit back. This ain't the way to go about it though, but in his mind, this is the best build and best come up that he could probably do for it. Bro, he's probably not going to do a full month of streaming. I think he only streams it once a week or whatever day it is. He's probably not going to be consistent for 2 months. He probably banked on making most of his money back from his first stream, talking about the FaZe stuff, clips from it, stuff like that. He's probably going to post some on clip pages himself or somebody, you know, shit like
audience that you even said is feeling right now. And then you position yourself as the guy who can see the future, who knows all and who really has all of the answers. This is why you look like Andrew Tate, at least to me in my eyes. It's not the same politics as him. I don't want to put that on your jacket unless we know more. But it's the same type of tactics, the money advice, the attention advice, the fear-mongering messaging that you are trying to get across. This masculinity-coded energy energy, this guru nonsense that you're putting it off. And you're trying to spin it as some sort of authenticity. All the while, we remember that you had your friends on Aiden's platform shilling coins to an unsuspecting audience just to do a rug pull. The reason why this whole situation to me is so interesting is the juxtaposition. FaZe Banks coming back to the internet, apologizing for what he did, but at the same time pitching himself as this guru and leading with the corporate entity nonsense, proving to a bunch of people that he really never learned his lesson. All the while, the people that he led astray and misled are propping up a new group, one that seems to be built on authenticity, you know,
at the same time,
all the core values that FaZe Banks, in the same stream in which he is trying to pitch a bunch of nonsense and self-help male bullshit, said that you need it in order to be successful. It's funny because he's in one stream claiming that, hey, you don't need the company, you don't need the investor dollars, you don't need all of that to make some sort of streaming group, saying that he's going to make some sort of streaming group. The boys on the other end making that same streaming group with the same thing in mind, but back on his stream, he is showing that he is nothing but company. He is nothing but corporation.
Facts.
And he is ultimately, I don't think at least, going to be successful in this endeavor. Sure, I think that he'll make a lot of money. He's already somebody who has money, so he has access to a bunch of different things. But it's not going to be a capturing or recapturing of the soul and the spirit that is group content that he was once seeking at a point in time. And it claims to be seeking at this point in time. I think that ship is totally sailed for FaZe Banks because he decided that he was going to lead with corporate first as opposed to any level of authenticity. And I think that that goes for a lot of creators out there. Sure, you'll get opportunity with these big brands and these big companies, but that doesn't mean that you need to sell your soul for anything that they have to offer. Because no matter how much they pitch to you that they're your friend, no matter how much they pitch to you that they are trying to work with you in your best interest, at the end of the day, the dollars have to make sense. And if the cents aren't making sense and the cents don't make dollars, they are going to turn their back on you for their best interest. It's as simple as that. Shout out to the core boys. I hope it to be nothing but a raving success. This is exactly what was being talked about a couple years ago, and I'm glad it's being seen out.
Damn. W
Right
fucking
now,
video. I ain't gonna lie. He cooked. That was a W video. I already said pretty much everything that I have to say. FaZe Banks is just crazy for doing this. But it's crazy also that they just knew, like, they had that ready for... It's crazy timing that they had that stream and they had that YouTube video ready for them doing the house tour. Like, damn. But, hey, they be like that, twin. Just don't be buying any skeptical coins and stuff like that, chat. Don't be taking internet advice and financial advice from people on the internet. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Another day with the best community in the community, and we'll catch you in the next one, YouTube. And that's what makes us